Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about a Trump appeal and a Trump theory that has been floated both by people for him and opposed to him. And we're going to kind of dive into it and see if there's any reality with it, or if it's even plausible. Okay, so first let's talk about the appeal. Pence has decided not to appeal the decision that says he needs to, go talk to the grand jury. Trump has decided to appeal to try to stop it. The appeal is, I don't want to say certain to lose, but it's got a really high likelihood of losing, and probably losing quickly. I don't even know that this is going to create a big delay. But Trump is behaving more and more erratically as things progress around him, and there are a lot of rumors about what's happening at home with him and stuff like that. Any of that could be true or not, but it might also explain some of his erratic behavior. His messaging is all over the place now, very conspiratorial, very whiny. And it's some of that messaging coming out from his allies. I think he may have even indicated that he believes this is the case, that we're going to talk about. The idea that the Democratic Party is going to help Trump win the primaries. There are both Republicans and Democrats basically suggesting that this is going to happen. Republicans are tying it to all of Trump's legal entanglements and saying that this is the Democratic Party doing this because they know it'll help him in the polls and they want to run against him again. I don't know that it's a sound electoral strategy to say, hey, my opposition thinks I'm the weakest candidate, but it has gone out a number of times. You have people in the Democratic Party saying we'd rather run against Trump. And then a couple of questions have come in about this and about whether or not it's possible. Is this what the legal entanglements are about? No. Is it possible that the Democratic Party steps in to help Trump during the primaries? I mean, yeah, I could see a set of circumstances where that occurs. Remember that during the midterms, the Democratic Party did, in fact, pick a bunch of losers, people that they thought would lose the general, and elevate their position. And they had a pretty good track record with it. I wouldn't say that they're not going to do that. Again, the thing that everybody needs to keep in mind is that Trump was a losing candidate before the 6th, before his attempts to overturn the election. He had been rejected by the American people prior to all of this stuff that most people say are like the worst things that he did. Despite the rhetoric in some conservative circles, despite his own habit of putting himself out there as the unstoppable juggernaut or whatever, he lost. He already lost, and he lost to Joe Biden. I don't think that he would do better in the general this time. It would take a wild set of circumstances to put him in a position where he could win the general. He has a really good chance of winning the primary, though. And I would imagine that there are some Democratic strategists that are like, you know what? Let him win. Let him win the primary. And there might be some that would be willing to help him do it. But, I mean, I think Republicans should probably consider what that means. That means that the Democratic Party thinks he's literally the weakest candidate. Do I think that's a good idea? No. No. I think we will continue dealing with Trump and copies of Trump until the Republican Party is forced to reject them. They have to reject them. It can't be something where they just lose through good political maneuvering. It has to be the Republican Party themselves rejecting them. And unless Democratic Party strategists see just a literal landslide against Trump, I don't think it's a good idea. Keeping Trumpism alive, I don't see that as a good strategy for the country. Maybe for the Democratic Party, but it is more important for Republicans to reject Trump and those like him. That's what needs to happen. We are going to be stuck in this cycle. We are going to have continued authoritarian moves until Republicans themselves reject that movement. And there's a case to be made that says if they can make Trump lose badly enough in a general, that the GOP will realize that it's a failing strategy. Maybe, but I mean, that's a big risk. That's a big risk because, I mean, never forget that he could actually win. It's unlikely, but it could happen. And then the other side to that is, for that to occur, the Democratic Party has to actually beat him, like by double digits. This country has to get out and vote on a level that it might not. So I don't necessarily think it's a good idea, but I could totally see the Democratic Party doing it. Because realistically, they stand a better shot of beating Trump than just about anybody else. I mean, coming out the gate, campaigns change things. And you might say that pick another Republican candidate, Nikki Haley. You could say, well, she's not a strong candidate. She's not a strong candidate right now. But if something happens, let's say gas prices shoot through the roof and unemployment starts to go back up or something like that, during the general campaign, it might help her. Starting off, Trump is easily the weakest Republican. But I don't know that that's a gamble the Democratic Party should make. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.